What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone for yet another episode of Inside SKoop. It's been a wonderful, wonderful ride with my man, Jacques Rougeau. How are you tonight, sir?
Bonsoir, mon ami.
Bonsoir, mon ami. Yes. Hello, my friend. Yes. Oui. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a great ride for me. I'm enjoying this. So let's not take any time to waste, and let's get down to business, doctor.
Let's get into it. So we're going to talk about Canadian wrestlers. So you being a Quebecan, right? Is that how you do it?
A Quebecer.
Yeah. Well, you're a Quebecer. We definitely know you were a Quebecer from the tag team with your guy PCO, now known as PCO. How did y'all become friends?
It's amazing. I was in Puerto Rico and I was on a year off from the WWF. I was changing gimmicks and I was wrestling a couple of spot shows, and one was Puerto Rico. And I was wrestling against Abdullah that night. And I was walking on the beach during the day. And this guy comes up to me and he taps on my shoulder, and I turn around and it's Carl Ouellet. And I don't know him, but he says to me, "Hey, Jacques, ça va bien?" And I look at him like, "Hey, you speak French?" And then he says, wait. So he's a friend. And he says to me, he says, "Jacques," he says, "I've been trying to send tapes many years to WWF." And he says, for at least 10 years. And he says, "They're not returning my calls on anything. I was just hoping if tonight I'm doing the opening match," he said to me, "I would like for you to come and watch my match if you don't mind." And I told Carl, I said, "Sure." I was happy to see a French Canadian in Cuba, just speaking and blah, blah. And so I went to see his match. And that night after I saw him work, I couldn't believe my eyes. I actually called Vince, and I said, "Vince," I said, "listen," I said, "I'd like to come back in the tag team." And I said, "I have the perfect guy." I said, "He bumps around like crazy. He's a big guy. He moves." And I said, "We'll practice for 8 months in my backyard. I'm going to set up a ring." Mm-hmm. And that's when we became the Quebecers with Carl Ouellet. And that's how I met him. Nice. And we had a great run. And, I got to tell you this story real fast because I know you like little stories. Sure. We're going in an era where you're not allowed to check in your bags at the airport anymore, because a lot of the guys were coming to the shows and they were saying, "I don't have my gear. I missed my fly of this or that." And it was all about the gear. So you had to put it in your overhead compartment in the plane, or you had to bring it with you. You didn't have a choice. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do that. So I said, it was a long trip. I couldn't remember. I told Carl, "Let's just check in our bags. What's the chances we'll miss our bags?" Mm-hmm. So we got into Boston that night. And we're waiting for like 2 hours at the baggage claim. They can't find our. So I went to see Blackjack Lanza at the arena. I said, "Listen, Jay," I said, I am really sorry." He said, "Jacques," says, "you're going to have a fine for that." I said, No, I don't want a fine. I said, "What I want to do," I said, "I want to go in my dress clothes, if you don't mind." I said, "Let me go in the ring and tell everybody that they're really lucky that I can't kick the Hart Foundation's butt tonight because I lost my bag." And then I said, "Let Brett and Jim the Anvil Knighter come in, and let them come in the ring, and then just let's start the free-for-all, and let's do the match dressed up in my shirt and my pants and my nice shoes." And so I had a great time with Carl Ouellet.
Nice.
It was awesome.
That's really cool. Nice. So this is going to be a fun. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So the theme for this time, we're going to talk about. I'm just going to give you some Canadian wrestlers, and you've the list. You've worked with all of them that we have, and so I'm just going to give you a wrestler, and you're going to tell us a story. It's going to be fun. So speaking of training, just like you did with PCL, you also trained Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, what a great athlete. He came to my school, and it was fun because it was a time where I was practicing my family-oriented shows. So it was based my shows on mostly skills, mostly timing and good workers. And like when in those days, the great workers, you could always recognize them by saying that this guy could go in the ring and work with a broom, and Kevin Owens was really good. I actually. When he came, I started him at scratch. I showed him how to get a headlock tight. I showed him how to do an interview. All the interviews that he did after that, it was really things that we practiced. And I think, honestly, it was one of my good, my good sides of the business. I had a pretty good interview, and I knew how to work the crowd. I knew how to work the red lights on the cameras. I knew how to. I specialized in interviews. So Kevin, when he came out and we practiced, it was fun because Kevin Owens was a wrestler who he learned fast. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to go back and teach again. And once we did a segment 1 week and we come back like 3 days later for another, he already remembered what we did.
Nice.
So he was very talented. He really was very talented.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about something that's near and dear to your heart. Your own brother, Raymond Rougeau.
Oh my God, I could talk an hour just about my brother Raymond. Where do I start, Chris? You know, my brother and I, we haven't spoke like in years. You know, we're having a family problem and a difference of opinions. Not who's right, who's wrong. It's just we don't think the same way. But Jesus, what great runs we had, like even international wrestling here. We won the belts, Raymond and I, but it was only for the Montreal territory. And there was like 5,000 fans outside waiting for us. It was the greatest moment, I think, that Raymond and I had together out of our 20 years working as a tag team. I got to say, that must have been one of the greatest nights. Unfortunately, they never saw it in the American TV or around the world because they came to the TV in the weekend and all the Quebec people are waiting to see us as champions on TV. And then they saw the Hart Foundation and they never even spoke about it. They never even spoke about it, that they lost or win or nothing. So that was a sad thing.
That was weird to me. Yeah, it was pretty weird to me.
But Raymond has got to be the greatest tag team I've ever worked with as far as worker, psychology. He took care of himself in the ring too. He could do that if needed. So
he was a tough guy too, right?
Oh my God, is he ever? And so it's all good. It was so many memories. I go back memory lane down with Raymond, and
he still does French commentary for WWE, doesn't he?
I think he does. I should know that, right? I'm his brother.
Yes, indeed.
Happy holidays, Raymond.
Hey.